Walking away from someone who doesn't value you is one of the most challenging and transformative decisions you can make. It's not just about cutting ties, it's about embarking on a deep journey of self-discovery and renewal. Carl Jung, one of the greatest thinkers on human psychology, believed that our relationships act as mirrors, reflecting both our light and our shadows. When you choose to walk away from someone who doesn't appreciate you, you're confronting those reflections head-on, breaking patterns that no longer serve you. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you felt trapped in a relationship where you're giving more than you're receiving? That feeling of imbalance isn't just an emotional reaction. It's a message from your subconscious, a signal from the deepest part of you that craves balance and harmony. Jung taught us that ignoring these internal signals leads to a misalignment in our emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. The subconscious has its own unique language, one that isn't always easy to interpret. It speaks through intuition, dreams, and emotions, things we often try to rationalize or dismiss. But every time you ignore that inner voice telling you something isn't right, you reinforce a cycle of disconnection from yourself. When you stay in a relationship where you're not valued, you're sending a clear message to your own psyche. I am not worthy of prioritizing myself. Imagine what your life would look like if you could reclaim all that lost energy. Jung believed that relationships aren't just random coincidences. They're opportunities designed by the subconscious to help you grow. When someone makes you feel invisible, that experience has a purpose. It's an invitation to reflect on how you see yourself and how willing you are to set healthy boundaries. Walking away from someone who doesn't value you isn't selfish. It's an act of self-love. Jung insisted that the journey to authenticity begins with facing your fears and being honest with yourself. Why have you stayed in a relationship that doesn't nurture you? Is it fear of change, of being alone, or of never finding something better? Asking yourself these questions is the first step to breaking the cycle and reconnecting with your true self. It's important to understand that unbalanced relationships don't just affect your emotions, they deeply impact your self-esteem. The more you allow someone to diminish your worth, the more your subconscious begins to internalize that narrative. You start believing you deserve less, and that belief begins shaping your decisions, your dreams, and your entire life. But here's the truth. Your worth isn't defined by how others treat you. It's defined by how you choose to treat yourself. When you decide to walk away, you send a powerful message to your subconscious. I deserve more. And that simple realization has the power to change everything. This is the first step toward attracting relationships that align with your essence and purpose. The process of walking away isn't easy. Jung spoke about resistance to change as one of the greatest challenges of the human experience. We cling to the familiar, even when it causes us pain, because we fear what comes next. But on the other side of that fear lies freedom. It's a space where you can begin to heal, rebuild, and rediscover who you are, without the limitations imposed by toxic relationships. The key is to trust the process. At first, you may feel an emptiness, a sense of loss that seems overwhelming. But Jung reminded us that this emptiness isn't something to fear. It's the space where new possibilities take root, a fertile ground for something real and meaningful to grow. When you allow yourself to let go, you open the door to the unexpected, to relationships and experiences that truly nourish your soul. For now, let these ideas sink in. In the next part, we'll explore how Jung's concept of the shadow influences our actions and how integrating it can help you build a more authentic life. This is just the beginning of a journey that will transform the way you see love, relationships, and most importantly, yourself. One of Carl Jung's most profound concepts is the shadow. It represents the parts of ourselves we'd rather not see, the ones we repress because they don't fit the image we want to project to the world. But here's the crucial detail. Your shadow doesn't disappear just because you ignore it. In fact, the more you try to hide it, the more power it has over you, and it often shows up in your closest relationships. Maybe you've wondered why certain people seem to bring out the worst in you, or why it's so hard to let go of someone who clearly doesn't value you. Jung would say this isn't a coincidence. It's an opportunity to confront your shadow. That person, despite causing you pain, is reflecting parts of yourself that you need to integrate in order to find wholeness. For example, if someone constantly makes you feel small, it might be triggering a deep insecurity you carry within. Maybe deep down, there's a part of you that fears you're not enough, and that relationship is simply amplifying that fear. But here's the key. That relationship doesn't define your worth. It's just revealing what you need to heal within yourself. Facing your shadow isn't easy, but it's essential. It's an act of courage that allows you to see beyond illusions and discover who you truly are. And when you do, something incredible happens. You begin to set yourself free. You no longer feel bound by other people's opinions or behaviors. You start to recognize your intrinsic worth and establish clear boundaries, not out of resentment, but out of self-respect. Think about that. Every time you allow someone to treat you in a way you don't deserve, you reinforce a message within yourself. But when you choose to say no and walk away, you're rewriting that message. You're affirming that your well-being, your peace, and your happiness matter. And that simple act can change everything. As you heal, unbalanced relationships stop being appealing. You realize you deserve to be surrounded by people who appreciate you, who see your light and celebrate it. That doesn't mean the journey will be easy. There will be moments when you doubt yourself, when you feel tempted to return to what's familiar. But in those moments, you must remember why you started this journey in the first place. Jung spoke about the importance of authenticity, of living a life that aligns with your true self. And that authenticity begins when you allow yourself to be selective about the people you keep close. Not every relationship is meant to last forever, and that's okay. Some people enter your life to teach you something, to help you grow. And then it's time to let them go. This process of releasing can be painful, but it's also deeply freeing. It creates space for new relationships, ones that truly resonate with you. And when you do that, something incredible happens. You start attracting people who reflect your true worth, who support you and inspire you to become the best version of yourself. This isn't just an external change, it's an internal transformation. It's a transformation that touches every aspect of your life. You begin to feel more confident, more at peace, and more connected to yourself. And that connection is what truly transforms your relationships. Because when you value yourself, the world responds. You start to see doors open that once seemed closed. The right opportunities and the right people begin to appear, almost like magic. This isn't the end of your journey, it's just the beginning. In the next part, we'll explore how choosing to walk away from those who don't value you can lead to true fulfillment, and how this shift affects not only your relationships, but also your purpose and vision for life. When you decide to step away from someone who doesn't appreciate you, you're not just closing a chapter. You're opening the door to a fuller, more authentic version of yourself. Carl Jung believed that life's purpose wasn't simply to seek fleeting happiness, but to find fulfillment, an experience that can only be achieved when you're at peace with yourself and aligned with your deepest essence. It's in the process of letting go of what no longer serves you that you begin to reconnect with yourself. Jung insisted that the disconnection we feel in relationships is merely a reflection of our own inner disconnection. In other words, the emptiness you feel when you're with someone who doesn't value you isn't just a result of their actions. It's also a sign of how you may have abandoned yourself in the process. But here's the good news. That emptiness can become the starting point for something far more meaningful. By walking away, you reclaim something invaluable, your energy. The energy you once spent trying to be seen, recognized, or loved by someone who couldn't appreciate you now returns to you. It's a process of reclamation. It's as if, by cutting those ties, all the strength you had been investing outward suddenly redirects inward, giving you the opportunity to build something new. This renewed energy not only allows you to heal, but also reveals aspects of yourself that had been hidden. Jung believed that the unconscious holds infinite wisdom, and when we start listening to it, it guides us toward our purpose. Perhaps by walking away from someone who didn't value you, you'll uncover talents, passions, or dreams you had set aside. Or maybe you'll gain a clarity that once seemed unattainable, a vision of who you truly are and what you really want in life. It's important to understand that this process isn't linear. There will be days when you feel strong and empowered, and others when you doubt your decision. That's completely normal. Jung believed that personal growth happens in spirals, moving forward and backward as we integrate life's lessons. What matters is staying committed to your well-being and remembering that every step forward is an act of self-love. As you heal, you begin to notice shifts in your surroundings. Jung introduced the concept of synchronicity, those moments when everything seems to align almost magically. Maybe you start meeting people who share your values, or unexpected opportunities arise that bring you closer to your dreams. This isn't a coincidence. It's a reflection of how your inner world is manifesting in the outer world. By choosing to walk away from someone who didn't value you, you're sending a clear message to the universe. You're ready for something better. And the universe responds. The relationships and experiences that once seemed out of reach now become possible, not because the world has changed, but because you have changed. You've raised your standards, and as a result, the world begins to reflect that new vibration back to you. But this journey isn't just about attracting new things. It's also about building from within. Jung spoke of the importance of integrating our shadows, of honestly facing the parts of ourselves we have denied or repressed. Walking away from an unbalanced relationship gives you the opportunity to do this inner work. It allows you to ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? What patterns am I ready to release? What do I want to create in the future? This work isn't easy, but it's deeply liberating. As you come to know yourself more fully, you begin to notice that external validation loses its grip on you. You no longer need others to confirm your worth because you find it within yourself. And this is one of the greatest transformations you can experience. When you truly value yourself, it's not just your relationships that change. Your entire world shifts. In the next part, we will explore how the process of letting go and healing transforms not only your relationships, but also your connection to your purpose and the impact you can have on the world. Because when you choose to align with your truth, you don't just benefit yourself, you uplift everyone around you. As you continue this process of release, you begin to uncover a profound truth: the value of your time, your energy, and your presence. These are your most precious currencies, and when you give them to those who don't appreciate them, you are losing opportunities to invest in yourself and in the connections that truly matter. Carl Jung believed that fulfillment isn't found in accumulating relationships or superficial achievements, but in the depth of your connection with yourself and others. This realization can be transformative. You may start to see how, in the past, you allowed certain people to distract you from your goals or lead you down paths that weren't aligned with your purpose. But this isn't a failure, it's a lesson. And now you have the opportunity to take those experiences and use them as a compass to guide you toward what truly matters. When you choose to focus on yourself, something powerful happens. You begin to set boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls to shut people out. They are bridges to build healthier, more authentic relationships. They allow you to communicate your needs and protect your energy. Jung emphasized that boundaries are essential for maintaining a balanced connection between the conscious and unconscious mind, because they help you find peace with your decisions and actions. At first, setting boundaries can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to pleasing others or putting their needs before your own. But every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you are saying yes to something better. You are creating space in your life for experiences that truly resonate with you and relationships that uplift you. This internal shift also changes how you perceive difficulties. What once seemed like insurmountable obstacles now start to look like opportunities for growth. Jung spoke about how crises can be catalysts for transformation. Walking away from someone who didn't value you may bring up intense emotions, sadness, anger, fear. But these emotions aren't your enemies. They are messengers, revealing what needs to be healed and released. At this stage, you may begin to experience something Jung described as integration. This happens when the different parts of yourself, including those you once suppressed, start coming together into a more complete version of who you are. You no longer define yourself solely by your successes or failures, nor by how others perceive you. You define yourself by your authenticity, by your ability to embrace both your light and your shadow. This process doesn't just transform your relationships, it transforms your relationship with yourself. You become more compassionate, more patient, and more aware of your own needs. And this new perspective reflects in everything you do. Your decisions become clearer, your goals more aligned, and your life more meaningful. Walking away from someone who didn't value you is ultimately an act of self-respect. It's a declaration that you are willing to prioritize your peace, your happiness, and your growth. But it's also an invitation to something much greater. It's an opportunity to transform your life from the inside out, to create a space where only what is real and meaningful can thrive. Over time, you'll start to notice that the relationships that once drained you no longer have power over you. Your energy is redirected toward people, projects, and experiences that truly nourish you. And this new dynamic doesn't just benefit you, it also impacts those around you. When you choose to live in alignment with your authenticity, you inspire others to do the same. You become a beacon of change, showing that it's possible to break free from what no longer serves you and build a life that truly reflects who you are. This journey isn't immediate. It requires time, patience, and commitment. But every step you take toward your authenticity is a step toward a more fulfilling, more meaningful, and more peaceful life. In the next part, we'll explore how this personal transformation doesn't just change how you see the world, it changes how the world responds to you. Because as you continue on this path, you'll begin to notice something truly fascinating. The world around you begins to change as well. The people who once failed to value your presence start to fade away, while new connections, ones built on authenticity and reciprocity, begin to emerge. This isn't mere coincidence. It's the result of your decision to live in alignment with your truth. Carl Jung spoke of synchronicity, the way the universe responds when you are in harmony with yourself. By choosing to walk away from those who don't value you, you open the door to experiences that reflect who you truly are. The opportunities that come your way, the people you meet, and the paths you take are manifestations of your inner transformation. Every step you take toward authenticity not only elevates your life, it inspires those around you. This process of transformation doesn't stop with you. When you choose to prioritize your worth and well-being, you become an example for others. Those who witness your journey may find the courage to do the same in their own lives. Your experience has the power to create a ripple effect, positively impacting people you may never even meet. But here's the most important thing. This journey doesn't have to be a solitary one. In this community, we are committed to growing together, to sharing insights, reflections, and lessons that help us live more fulfilling and authentic lives. Your voice, your experiences, and your thoughts are essential in building this space of connection. If this message resonated with you, I want to invite you to take action right now. Share this video with someone who might need to hear these words. Maybe they're facing a similar situation, and your action could make a difference in their life. Leave a comment below and tell me, what part of this message touched your heart? What change are you willing to make to live in alignment with your truth? Your words not only inspire others, but also help this content reach more people. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming videos. Here we talk about topics that don't just touch the soul, but transform the way we see and live life. Every time you engage with this content, you help spread a message that can change lives. Remember, the power to transform your life has always been within you. Walking away from those who don't value you is not the end. It's the beginning of something far greater. It's the first step toward a life of authenticity, purpose, and deep connection with your true self.